Yeah, what's up? This is Jeff, and welcome to today's episode of the Art and Science of Self-Defense. Now, on a previous episode of the Art and Science of Self-Defense, when I was sharing with you the gear that I carry in my fitness bag, I mentioned the gloves that I use and the hand wraps that I use to wrap my hands for added protection. Today, I'm going to show you how I wrap my hands prior to each training session. Now, I mentioned these wraps before in a previous video. These wraps that I use, they're 108 inches. You can get them longer I've seen them at 120 all the way up to 180 inches. If you have medium-sized hands, as I do, you want to go with 120-inch wraps because they provide added protection, not just for over the wrist, but also over the knuckles as well. These 108-inch wraps, they just fit. But I would prefer 120-inch wraps to add more protection. So these wraps, they have a loop for the thumb. Loop there for the thumb. So what I do is I take this loop, put it on my thumb like so. Seam is down on the wrap. Then I bring it across like that. And I go around my wrist twice. 1, 2. Then I go across the knuckles twice. And I keep the fingers spread, but I go across the knuckles twice. 1 and 2. Okay, and so now I'm going to come back around the wrist as in the manner of a figure 8 to go back up across the knuckles between the pinky finger and the ring finger. After going through there, I'm going to go across like that, come back around across the knuckles and make another figure 8 and come between the middle finger and the ring finger. Go between the thumb, figure 8 again, around like that. Like that. Come up between the index finger. Okay. And then I'm going to go across the knuckle like that. Once again, then I'm going to go across the wrist. And this is not the neatest job because I normally don't talk as I'm doing this, I just do it. So this is not the neatest job, but that's pretty much how I wrap my hands for protection, for added protection during my training sessions. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to wrap my right hand. This time I'm not going to talk, I'm just going to do it. You know, to be quite honest, this is something that I'm a novice at. I show up at class early, because this is somewhat of a time-consuming venture for me, wrapping hands. But this, I just want to share with you the way that I provide added protection for my hands during the training sessions. Okay, I'm not going to talk this time. I'm just going to do it. Okay. Okay. That's how I wrap my hands before each training session when I'm working the bags or the pads. Okay, and as I said before, some guys wrap their hands and they just work out in wraps like this. I'm not one of those guys. After I wrap my hands, come on gloves. After I wrap my hands, I put on my MMA style gloves over the wraps. Okay, like so. And that's how I prepare. Well, forget all that. That's how I prepare for a training session for working the bags when I'm boxing, or when I am training for the Israeli Defense Fighting Course. That concludes today's session of the Art and Science of Self-Defense. Remember, never fight, always defend.